The morning sunlight streamed through the glass windows of a luxurious penthouse in Gangnam, Seoul. Yin stretched slowly on the soft king-size bed, feeling the warmth of Jungkook's body beside her. It had been 2 months since their grand wedding, yet it still felt like just yesterday she had spoken her vows in front of both their families. Morning already? Yin mumbled while rubbing her eyes, her voice still husky from sleep. Half awake, Jungkook gave her a faint smile, his muscular arm tightening around Yin's slim waist. 5 more minutes, baby. I've got a meeting with the Japanese clients at 9. Come on, honey, Yin pouted, pushing against his broad chest. You keep saying 5 more minutes. We're going to be late. Jungkook chuckled, his deep morning voice sounding irresistibly sexy. All right, but can I get a morning kiss first? Yin's cheeks flushed red. Even though they were already married, she still got shy whenever Jungkook acted romantically. You're so spoiled, she muttered before giving him a quick peck on the lips. Me? Spoiled? Who was the one whining yesterday, asking me to come along to the salon just for a hair cream bath? Jungkook teased, getting out of bed and showing off his well-built body. That's different. Yin threw a pillow at him. I get bored being alone all the time. Their mornings always started this way, playful banter before getting ready. After showering and still dressed casually, they headed straight for breakfast. You have a board of directors meeting today, right? Yin asked while taking a bite of her bread. Jungkook nodded, scrolling through his emails on his phone, probably until late afternoon. What about you? Brother Minho said a new client wants to invest in a property in Bizen. I need to prepare the presentation. Yin sighed, though I really wanted to have lunch with you. Hearing the disappointment in her tone, Jungkook immediately set his phone down. His gaze softened as he looked at her, a faint smile tugging at his lips. Baby, be patient, okay? How about we go to Jeju this weekend? Yin's eyes sparkled, her disappointment vanishing in an instant. Really? Can we go to that beach again? Of course. Later I'll book the same villa. Her face lit up with joy as she clapped her hands in excitement. Yay, I can't wait. Jungkook smiled at her reaction, then took a sip of his coffee calmly. See, one lunch canceled, but I'll make it up with a special weekend. Yin only pouted shyly, her cheeks warm with blush. After finishing breakfast, they prepared to head to their respective offices. Jungkook wore a dark gray suit with a navy tie, looking strikingly handsome and professional, while Yin chose an elegant navy dress paired with a white blazer, exuding grace and sophistication. In the basement parking lot, the roar of luxury cars echoed. Jungkook leaned casually against his black sports car, waiting while Yin fixed her hair. As soon as she walked up to him, he reached out to adjust his slightly crooked tie. Honey, Yin looked at him seriously. Don't forget to eat lunch properly, okay? Not just coffee. Jungkook smiled, brushing his fingers gently across her cheek. I will, baby. You also don't overwork yourself. Remember, health comes before presentations. Yin nodded, though worry still lingered in her expression. Jungkook then leaned down, pressing a long kiss to her forehead, as if to reassure her and give her strength at the same time. I'm off. Yeah, take care. They got into their separate cars, driving in different directions, yet their hearts remained deeply connected. That morning felt warm, filled with the kind of simple affection that started their day with smiles. Days went by with the same rhythm, mornings spent together, afternoons apart for work, and evenings back in each other's arms at home. Yin worked as her brother Minho's secretary at their family-owned real estate company, Dreamland Property, while Jungkook managed his family's tech empire, Golden Tech. That night, Yin sat at her vanity, brushing through her long hair. Jungkook had just stepped out of the bathroom, his black hair still damp, wearing nothing but bathrobe. Honey, Yin called through the mirror. Jungkook walked over and stood behind her, his hands resting gently on her shoulders. I want to ask you something. Yes, baby? Yin turned to face him. I want to change jobs. Jungkook raised his brows. Change? Why? Don't you like working at your dad's company? It's not that. Yin shook her head. I do like it, but she bit her lower lip, hesitating. But what, baby? Just tell me. I want to work at your company, as your secretary. Jungkook fell silent for a moment, then chuckled. Are you sure? You know I'm strict at the office, right? Liar. Yin playfully smacked his arm. You're always gentle with me. Well, what can I do? I can't exactly scold my own wife. Jungkook smiled fondly. But seriously, why do you want to transfer? Yin lowered her gaze, fiddling with the hem of her nightgown. I miss you, honey. We only see each other in the mornings and at night. I want to be able to see you all day. Jungkook's heart warmed at her innocent confession. Since college, Yin had always been like this, never liking to be apart from him for too long. That sweet clinginess was exactly what made him fall for her in the first place. What about my current secretary? Kai's been working with me for almost 2 years. He can be transferred to another division, right? There must be a position that suits him. Jungkook sat down on the edge of the bed, pulling Yin closer by the hand. Have you told your dad yet? Yin nodded eagerly. I did. I called him earlier today. He said it's up to me where I want to work, as long as I'm happy. You're really sure about this? Of course. I mean, who would turn down the chance to be their own husband's secretary? Yin wrapped her arms around his neck playfully. Please, honey. Jungkook pressed a kiss to the tip of her nose. All right then, but you have to promise to stay professional at the office. Don't go distracting me. Promise. Yin peppered his cheeks with kisses until he burst out laughing. Okay, I'll talk to Kai tomorrow. Monday morning, the aroma of toast and coffee filled the penthouse dining room. Yin had woken up earlier than usual, determined to prepare herself well for her first day working at Jungkook's company. After standing in front of her wardrobe for a long time, she finally chose an outfit that made her look professional: a fitted black blazer, a crisp white blouse, and a gray pencil skirt that fell just below her knees. Her hair was neatly tied up in a bun, giving her an elegant and mature impression, while the light makeup she applied only highlighted her natural beauty. Jungkook, who was already sitting casually at the dining table sipping his coffee, looked up the moment his wife walked in. His eyes narrowed in admiration, and a mischievous smile curved on his lips. Wow, my new secretary looks stunning, he teased, leaning forward as if to check Yin out from head to toe. Yin, who had been feeling confident a moment ago, suddenly felt flustered, though she tried to cover it with a smile. Stop teasing me, Mr. CEO, she replied, her tone firm but the corners of her lips betraying a small laugh. I'm not teasing, I'm serious. Jungkook set down his coffee cup and stood, walking over to Yin. His hand adjusted the collar of his wife's blazer, his gaze filled with pride. Seriously? You've always been so beautiful. You look perfect. Everyone at the office will definitely be impressed. Yin's cheeks flushed as she quickly moved to take a seat, trying to shift the focus away from herself. If you keep complimenting me like that, I'll just get more nervous. Jungkook chuckled softly, then placed a piece of toast on Yin's plate. Eat plenty first. Today's going to be a long one. After breakfast, they left together in Jungkook's car. Starting today, they would head to the office together. The busy Seoul morning felt different to Yin. The sky was bright, the traffic was heavy, yet her heart was filled with a mixture of nerves and excitement. In the passenger seat, Yin couldn't seem to sit still. Her hands fidgeted with the zipper of her work bag, then shifted to fiddling with her phone, only to return to clutching her bag again. Her breathing wasn't steady, as though she were heading into a job interview. Jungkook, keeping his eyes on the road, glanced at her briefly, a faint smile tugging at his lips. He knew exactly what his wife was feeling. Without a word, he reached over with his left hand and held her restless hand firmly. Nervous? He asked gently, his thumb brushing over the back of her hand with comforting care. Yin turned to him, meeting his calm expression. A little, she admitted honestly. I just keep thinking, how will the employees react? They might think I'm only getting this job because I'm the boss's wife. Jungkook let out a quiet laugh, his voice steady and full of assurance. Don't worry, baby. They'll be glad to have a boss's wife as kind as you. And besides, you're not just riding on my position. You're competent. You're already used to working, and I know you can handle this. Plus, they all know your family owns a company too. There's no way they'll think you're just freeloading. Her heart eased a little at his words, though she kept her gaze down, staring at the hand he still held tightly. I just don't want people to misunderstand. Jungkook glanced at her briefly, his eyes firm and protective. If anyone misunderstands, I'll clear it up. Your only job is to do your work well. Leave the rest to me. Yin fell quiet, then let out a small smile. That simple reassurance meant the world to her. Thank you, honey. Jungkook gave her hand a gentle squeeze. No matter what you do, I'll always be proud of you. Those words made Yin's heart race faster. She turned to the bustling streets outside the window, but the smile on her lips was impossible to hide. Her first day as Jungkook's secretary might be nerve-wracking, but with her husband by her side, she knew everything would be just fine. Upon arriving at the towering Golden Tech building in Seoul's business district, Yin was in awe of the luxurious lobby with its modern design, although it wasn't too different from her own family's office. Employees passing by greeted Jungkook and curiously glanced at the boss's wife. Good morning, Mr. Jungkook, greeted a middle-aged woman who then introduced herself as the HR manager. And Mrs. Yin, it's such a pleasure to finally meet you. Good morning, Yin replied with a warm smile. I'll be counting on your support. Inside the elevator on the way to the 25th floor, the floor reserved for the CEO and board of directors, they were alone. The mirrors on the walls reflected the couple's image. Jungkook stood tall and dashing in his dark gray suit, while Yin looked elegant in her black blazer. Jungkook leaned his shoulder against the wall, glancing at his wife, who was still trying to calm her heartbeat. He leaned closer, whispering in a low voice meant only for her. See, everyone already likes you. Yin huffed shyly, her eyes darting toward the elevator doors. You're exaggerating, but the blush on her cheeks betrayed just how flattered she was. Jungkook stifled a laugh, then quickly reached for Yin's hand and held it tightly even as the elevator neared their floor. I mean it, baby. You're going to make this office shine even brighter. When the elevator doors opened, the executive floor felt calm and exclusive. Jungkook pointed to an elegant desk near the CEO's office door. The desk was already neat with a computer, stationery, and a small vase of flowers. This is your desk, Jungkook said proudly. If anything comes up, just call me right away. Yin sat for a moment, running her fingers across the desk surface, then looked up at Jungkook with sparkling eyes. I can't believe it feels this good, like a dream. Her first day went smoothly. Yin quickly adapted to the company's workflow and the software they used. Several employees approached her, greeting her politely and offering help whenever needed. Mrs. Yin, here's last month's financial report, said a staff member from accounting, handing her a thick folder. Yin accepted it with both hands. Thank you. I'll give it directly to Mr. Jungkook. The staff member smiled, clearly impressed by Yin's humility despite being the CEO's wife. When lunchtime came, Yin entered the CEO's office carrying meals from the VIP cafeteria. Jungkook's office was spacious and modern, with large windows offering a breathtaking view of Seoul from above. They sat across from each other, the formal atmosphere of the office making their conversation a little more restrained. But Jungkook was still Jungkook, unable to resist teasing her. Casually, he picked up his chopsticks and held out a bite of rice toward Yin. How's your first day? He asked softly. Yin opened her mouth to take the bite, then smiled brightly. Fun, not too different from when I worked as my brother's secretary, but I'm so much happier now because I get to be your secretary. Jungkook chuckled, his eyes glowing with pride. Yeah, I'm happy too. So you won't miss me anymore, right? Yin nodded while chewing, then looked at him seriously. But, honey, what is it? Jungkook frowned curiously. Don't be too sweet at the office, okay? It might make the employees feel awkward. Jungkook bit back a mischievous smile. Hey, you're the one who's been holding my hand all this time. Yin huffed. Her face flushed red. Well, it's my first time working with my own husband. Of course I'm nervous. They burst out laughing together. Jungkook gazed at Yin for a long moment, as if he wanted to freeze the memory forever. Yin's first day as his secretary might be filled with challenges, but for Jungkook, one thing was already certain. Her presence made the cold office feel warmer, more alive. And for Yin, even though she was nervous, there was a comfort she couldn't replace, because beneath all the formality, there was always the sweet love that accompanied her. 2 weeks passed, and Yin had grown more skilled at her job. She had memorized Jungkook's schedule, learned how to arrange meetings, and managed all sorts of CEO-related matters. Their relationship remained sweet, even though they had to maintain professionalism in the office. That morning, Yin was typing up a report when the phone from the receptionist rang. Good morning. Good morning, Mrs. Yin. There's a visitor here asking to see Mr. Jungkook. Her name is Miss Nari. Yin frowned. The name was unfamiliar. Did he have a prior appointment with her? No, ma'am, but she said she's an old friend of Mr. Jungkook's from high school. Oh, please hold on a moment. Without knocking, Yin went straight into Jungkook's office. By now, she considered it just as much her space as his. Her husband was focused on reviewing a proposal on his laptop. Honey, there's a visitor. Her name's Nari. She said she was your high school friend. Jungkook lifted his head, his expression shifting as if recalling something. Nari? Oh, I remember. She was my classmate back then. But what does she want to see me for? Should I let her in? Sure. But I'm staying here with you, Yin added firmly. Jungkook chuckled softly. Of course, baby. Yin nodded. As his wife, her instincts simply wouldn't allow her husband to be alone with another woman, especially an old acquaintance she herself had never met. A few minutes later, a woman about their age entered the office. Her shoulder-length bob was dyed a light brown, and she wore a simple yet elegant black dress. Her face was quite pretty, with makeup applied just lightly enough to enhance her features. Jungkook. Nari greeted him with a wide smile. Nari, how have you been? It's been forever, Jungkook replied, standing up from his chair. I'm doing well. You're looking even more handsome these days. Nari laughed, her eyes briefly flicking toward Yin. Oh, this is my wife, Yin. Baby, this is Nari, my old high school friend. Hello, nice to meet you, Yin said politely with a warm smile, bowing slightly, even though an uncomfortable feeling lingered in her chest. Wow, you're so beautiful. No wonder Jungkook fell for you, Nari said, though Yin couldn't shake the sense that the compliment was a little forced. So, what can I help you with? Jungkook asked. Nari sighed dramatically. Actually, I'm looking for a job, Jungkook. My old workplace was so toxic. Office politics, constant backstabbing. I just couldn't take it anymore. Oh, that's tough. Which university did you graduate from? What was your major? Konkuk University, Business Management. Yin observed the way Nari spoke, slightly coy, repeatedly using Jungkook's name without any honorifics. Something about her demeanor rubbed Yin the wrong way, but she tried to think positively. Jungkook looked thoughtful. As it happens, our marketing division is in need of a new staff member. Do you have experience in that field? Yes, I worked at an advertising agency for 2 years, but my boss always blamed others whenever something went wrong. Nari's eyes lit up with hope. Please, Jungkook, I really need this job. I promise I'll work hard. Yin noticed the pleading look in Nari's eyes and felt a twinge of pity. She glanced at Jungkook, giving him a subtle signal that it was okay if he wanted to help. Alright, Jungkook said at last. Come in tomorrow at 9 a.m. I'll introduce you to the marketing manager. Salary will follow company standards, with a 3-month probation period. Really? Nari nearly jumped off the sofa. Thank you so much, Jungkook. I owe you big time. No worries. I hope you'll fit in well here. The door closed softly after Nari stepped out. Silence briefly enveloped the spacious CEO's office. Yin then stood as if to leave the room, but for some reason, her feet felt heavy. Her eyes shifted toward Jungkook, her expression unreadable, a mix of confusion, caution, and a touch of discomfort. Jungkook, who was tidying up some files on his desk, noticed immediately. He turned, gazing at his wife with full attention. What's wrong, baby? His voice was gentle, laced with concern. Yin quickly shook her head with a faint smile. Nothing really. But Jungkook knew every smile of hers by heart. That wasn't a genuine smile. It was the kind of smile she wore whenever she tried to hide her true feelings. Yin, Jungkook called again, his tone deep and serious. Yin fell silent for a moment, then let out a soft sigh. Really, it's nothing, honey. I don't know. I have a weird feeling. Jungkook set down the file, then rose from his chair. He walked over to Yin, who still stood awkwardly, and leaned down to press a gentle kiss on the crown of her head. The familiar scent of her shampoo filled his senses, warming his chest. Are you jealous? He whispered with a small smile. No, Yin answered quickly, but her cheeks flushed red. She lowered her gaze, pretending to be busy herself with the hem of her blouse. It's just, she seemed a little too friendly with you. Jungkook chuckled softly, sliding his fingers between hers and holding her hand tightly. Baby, we're just high school friends. We haven't seen each other in ages. She's probably just excited to meet an old friend again. Yin bit her lower lip. I guess, but still, the way she talked to you made me feel a little uncomfortable. Jungkook lowered his face until it was level with hers, locking eyes with his wife. Besides, he said while pulling her closer, I already have the most beautiful wife in all of Korea. Why would I look at anyone else? Yin couldn't help but smile, though a trace of worry still lingered in her heart. She looked at Jungkook with searching eyes, as if seeking reassurance. Promise? She asked softly. Jungkook brushed his knuckles gently against her cheek, then rested his forehead against hers. Promise. I only have you. And I only need you. No one else, baby. Yin's heart melted instantly. She wrapped her arms around his waist, hugging him tightly as if she never wanted to let go. Jungkook embraced her back warmly, patting her gently on the back, giving her the comfort she needed. I trust you, Yin whispered in a low voice. Good wife, Jungkook replied, before pressing a brief yet tender kiss to her lips. In that moment, the jealousy that had crept into Yin's heart slowly faded, replaced by warmth and the certainty that Jungkook's love belonged to her alone. At least, that was what she hoped. The next day, Nari arrived at Golden Tech right on time, looking neat in a white blouse and a black pencil skirt. She had officially joined the marketing division on the 20th floor, but somehow, since that day, almost every single day, she found some excuse to go up to the 25th floor, where the CEO's office and Yin's desk were located. Like this morning, Yin was focused on typing her report when a cheerful voice greeted her. "Mrs. Yin, sorry to bother you," Nari said as she walked closer, holding a cup of warm coffee. Yin looked up, holding her breath for a second. "What is it, Nari?" she asked politely, though her smile was a little stiff. "I made coffee for Jungkook. I remember he really likes an Americano without sugar. He's always had that taste." Yin felt her chest tighten slightly, but she still smiled. "Oh, thank you. But Jungkook's in a meeting with the Japanese client. Maybe later, okay?" "It's fine. I'll just leave it here. By the way, did you know, back in high school, Jungkook and I used to buy snacks together all the time? We even once." "Sorry," Yin cut her off gently but firmly. "I'm a bit busy right now. Maybe we can chat later when I'm free." Nari froze for a moment, her lips tightening, before she forced another smile. "Oh, right, sorry. I'll head back now." The moment Nari left, Yin let out a long sigh. It had only been a week since Nari started working, and yet almost every day she brought up little stories from her past with Jungkook, as if deliberately trying to show that she knew him better than Yin did. Later that afternoon, Yin was organizing files when Nari's voice rang out again. "Yin, heading home already?" she asked with a wide smile. "Yeah, in a bit. What about you?" "I'm waiting for Jungkook to finish his meeting. He said earlier he'd let me know about the training schedule for new employees." Yin glanced at the wall clock. It was already 6 p.m. Jungkook's meeting should have ended half an hour ago. "Oh," and Nari stepped closer, her light footsteps carrying a clear intent. "Back in high school, Jungkook used to drive me home all the time. It felt strange, you know, because even though we were just friends, he was always so caring with me." Yin smiled, though her heart churned. "Wow, Jungkook has always been a gentleman, huh? He's still like that with me. Actually, even sweeter now." "Oh, really? How so?" Nari asked, her tone deliberately curious. Yin pretended to think for a moment. "For example, the way he wakes me up, he always kisses my whole face. And if I'm on my period, he's willing to wake up in the middle of the night just to make me hot chocolate and massage my stomach. He's a very caring husband." Nari's expression faltered for a split second, though she quickly masked it with another smile. "Ooh, that's it. Isn't that kind of normal?" Yin chuckled softly, then added with a deliberately sweet tone, "That's just one part of it. Just last weekend, we went to Jeju. He booked this villa right by the beach, super romantic. Candlelight dinner while watching the sunset. And after that, she left her sentence hanging, her lips curling into a mysterious smile." "After that? What?" Nari swallowed hard. I can't exactly share the private details, can I?" Yin laughed softly, this time more tenderly. "Let's just say, married life feels different, more intimate, and passionate." Behind her bag, Nari clenched her fists. "Wow, sounds really nice being married." "It is," Yin answered firmly. "That's why I can't even imagine someone trying to mess with my marriage. I'd fight with everything I have, because Jungkook is the most precious treasure in my life." Just then, the CEO's office door opened. Jungkook stepped out in his sharp suit, looking surprised to see Nari still standing there. "Nari, you're still here? Sorry, the meeting dragged on." "It's fine, Jungkook. I didn't really have urgent work anyway," Nari answered quickly. But Jungkook's gaze only lingered on her for a brief second before softening as it landed on Yin. His smile shifted, turning warm. "Baby, let's go home. I'm starving." "Sure." Yin stood up immediately, slipping her arm through his in a subtle but affectionate possessive gesture. She glanced back at Nari with polite small talk. "How about you, Nari? Need us to give you a ride?" "No thanks, I'll just grab a taxi." The night view of Seoul glittered outside the window. Jungkook drove with one hand, the other tightly holding Yin's hand. "Why was Nari still upstairs earlier?" he asked. She said she wanted to ask about the training schedule, but honestly, it seemed more like she just wanted to chat, Yin replied, her gaze shifting to the window, trying to sound casual. "You still don't like her, do you?" Yin turned to him, her eyes clear but firm. "I don't mind her working at your company, but I can't help feeling she has another intention." "What kind of intention?" Yin let out a small sigh. "Honey, you're too naive sometimes. Don't you realize she's trying to get close to you?" Jungkook stayed silent for a few seconds, his face serious. But I've already made it clear, I'm married, and I love my wife. I know, and I appreciate that, but some women don't care about things like that. To them, it's a challenge, not a boundary. Jungkook squeezed Yin's hand tighter. You trust me, right? Of course, I trust you. It's her that I don't trust. In that case, I'll keep my distance from her. Strictly professional. Maybe she thinks we're closer because of high school, but she needs to understand she's just my employee. Yin's heart warmed at his words. She smiled, then leaned closer to plant a tender kiss on his cheek. Thank you, honey. Jungkook smiled in satisfaction, lifting her hand to his lips and kissing it deeply. Always, baby. You're the only one in my life. But the real confrontation happened a week later. Yin was alone in the 25th floor pantry, making warm tea for Jungkook, who had a sore throat. Suddenly, Nari appeared. Yin, perfect timing running into you. Hi, Nari, what's up? I just wanted to say, thank you for letting Jungkook hire me here. Yin frowned. Letting? Yeah, I mean, you must have had some influence on Jungkook's decision, especially since you're his wife. Yin stirred the tea slowly. Actually, I just felt sorry for you. Jungkook's a kind person, of course. He'd help an old friend who's struggling. Yeah, Jungkook's always been so kind to me, even back then. He could never say no when it came to me. That's why I've always appreciated our friendship. Even now, he still cares so much about me. There was a proud tone in Nari's voice that made Yin's patience start to fray. Oh, really? Cares how? Well, he often checks in on me, asks how I'm adjusting at work, if I'm having any trouble. Just yesterday, he even offered to help me find an apartment closer to the office. See how thoughtful he is with me. Yin stopped stirring her tea. Oh, really? Of course. He said he felt bad that I had to take taxis or buses all the way from Hongdae every day. Jungkook's always been thoughtful like that. Wow, Yin smiled, but her eyes didn't. Jungkook is indeed very caring. With me too. Actually, even more so. Oh, really? How so? Nari pressed, her tone probing. Well, just the other day, he bought me a diamond necklace from Tiffany's for no reason at all. He said he just wanted to see me happy. And last week, he surprised me with a candlelight dinner on our penthouse rooftop, complete with a live violinist. Nari tried to stay cool, but Yin caught the slight clench of her jaw. Wow, that's really romantic. Extremely. Oh, and not to mention our honeymoon in Paris last month. He rented a private jet, booked the presidential suite at a luxury hotel, and even took me shopping on the Champs-Élysées. He said he wanted to give only the best to his beloved wife. Paris? When did you go to Paris? For our first wedding anniversary, just last month. You didn't know? Understandable, since you hadn't started working here yet. But he did post about it on his social media. In truth, Nari did know she had been stalking Jungkook's accounts constantly lately, but she wasn't about to admit that to Yin. Oh, maybe I missed that update. That's too bad. I mean, Jungkook's got so many followers. He's kind of a public figure. After all, a successful young CEO. Yin deliberately emphasized her husband's status. Anyway, Yin continued as she picked up the now-ready tea. I need to bring this to Jungkook. He's sick right now, and I worry when he's not healthy. Sick with what? Sore throat, probably exhaustion. That's why I'm being extra attentive with him today. Ah, such a devoted wife, huh? Well, Yin shrugged with a proud smile. That's what you do when you love someone unconditionally. You understand what I mean, don't you? Nari paused for a moment before replying, her tone slightly sharp. Yes, I understand. Good. Oh, and Nari. Yes? Try not to come up to the 25th floor too often. This floor is for the executive level only. Non-executive staff rarely need to be here unless it's urgent. Nari's eyes narrowed. Non-executive? I mean, non-executive level. You're still a regular staff member. Unlike me, since I works here as the CEO's personal secretary. Oh, I thought you only got that position because you're his wife. Yin chuckled lightly. Partly yes, but mainly because my qualifications are a perfect fit. I graduated magna cum laude in business administration from Seoul National University. Plus, I worked for 2 years in my family's property company as executive secretary to my older brother, who's also a CEO. Oh, I see, Nari replied, still sounding a little bitter. Exactly. So, technically speaking, I'm fully qualified for this role. Not just nepotism. Nari fell silent, running out of words. Yin felt a satisfied smile bloom inside her. All right then, I'll head back. Jungkook's waiting for his tea. When Yin entered the room, she found Jungkook lying on the sofa, holding his head. Honey, here's your tea, Yin said as she sat on the edge of the sofa, gently touching his forehead. Still dizzy? A little. Thank you, love. Jungkook sat up and accepted the warm cup of tea from Yin. He immediately noticed the upset look on her face. What's wrong, baby? I ran into Nari in the pantry earlier. Yeah, and? She said you offered to help her find an apartment? No way. I just asked where she lived yesterday when we were chatting in the elevator. She said Hongdae and I just replied, oh, that's pretty far, that's all. I never offered any help. She also kind of bragged to me. She said you used to drive her home a lot back in high school. This time, Jungkook scoffed. That's ridiculous. I only drove her once because it was on my way. And that was just because she fainted during gym class that day. Never again after that. Just that one time. And even then, I wasn't alone. Mona was with us too, her close friend. So it was the three of us in my car. Yin let out a long sigh, finally seeing Nari's true intentions clearly. 2 weeks passed with the tension only growing stronger. Nari kept finding excuses to interact with Jungkook, while Yin grew more and more annoyed with her behavior. The climax came one afternoon when Yin was sorting documents alone. Yin, are you busy? Yin lifted her head and saw Nari standing in front of her desk, wearing a smile that looked forced. Kind of. Why? Nothing. I just came to give this report from the marketing team. She placed a thick folder on Yin's desk, though Yin barely acknowledged it. Yet again, she didn't leave right away. Actually, I wanted to tell you something. Earlier, Jungkook gave me a special project. He said he trusts my abilities. Yin paused her sorting and shot Nari a sharp look. Special project? Yes. He said I'm talented and have potential for a promotion. Maybe in a few months I'll become a marketing supervisor. You know, Jungkook has always been good at seeing people's potential. Back in high school, he used to say I was smart and would be successful in the future. Nari continued, boasting. Oh, really? Of course. He even once said in high school that he'd approach me to work at his company someday. But since we went to different universities, well, we just lost touch. Yin put her pen down rather harshly. He said that? Yes. Funny, right? And now here I am, actually working at his company. Maybe it's fate? Yin's patience snapped. Nari. Yes? Do you even realize what you're doing? What do you mean? Yin rose from her seat and stared at Nari with cold eyes. Do you think I haven't noticed your behavior all this time? I don't understand. Oh, please, don't act innocent. Yin crossed her arms. From the very first day you started here, you've been trying to get close to Jungkook in every way possible. Bringing him coffee, talking about your past with him, and now claiming he gave you special treatment. Nari fell silent, though her eyes glinted with defiance, as if Yin's words didn't faze her. And the most annoying part, Yin continued, you keep telling me how special your relationship with Jungkook used to be. Do you think I don't know what you're trying to do? Just what? Just trying to make me jealous? Just trying to prove you have history with my husband? When in reality you were nothing more than friends, nothing special at all, yet you exaggerate it into something more. Nari finally spoke defensively. Is it wrong for me to talk about my friendship with him? Friendship? Yin let out a sarcastic laugh. Nari, what you're doing isn't friendship. It's trying to steal someone's husband. I'm not trying to steal anyone. Oh, really? Yin stepped closer. Then why do you always find excuses to come up here? Why do you keep mentioning how kind Jungkook is to you? Why do you keep reminiscing about old times? Nari started looking nervous, but forced herself to stay strong. Those are innocent interactions. Innocent, my ass. Yin's voice rose slightly. And now you even dare to claim Jungkook gives you special treatment? What for? To convince yourself or to convince me? I'm not making it up. He really. Enough. Yin cut her off sharply. You want the truth? Jungkook never said any of those things. He never even mentions your name at home unless I bring it up first. Nari froze. And you know what? Yin gave a cold smile. Last night, he told me he feels uncomfortable with your behavior. He even asked me how he should tell you to keep your distance without being rude. That's a lie. A lie? Yin smirked. Let's go to his office right now and let him tell you himself. Panic flickered in Nari's eyes. No, that's not necessary. Good. Now, let me make something very clear. Yin stepped closer until they were face to face. I don't care if you were Jungkook's high school friend. I don't care if you desperately need this job. What I do care about is that you're crossing boundaries that should never be crossed. I'm not finished. Yin raised a hand. Do you think you can compete with me? Let me remind you who you're dealing with. Yin circled Nari, her tone sharp and demeaning. I'm Yin, daughter of the owner of Dreamland Property, one of the biggest property companies in Korea. My family's net worth is nearly 500 billion won. I graduated magna cum laude from Seoul National University, speak 4 languages fluently, and have connections all over Seoul. Nari swallowed hard. And you? A marketing staff with a salary of 3 million won per month, living in a one-room apartment in Hongdae, taking taxis or buses to work. Yin. I'm not done yet. Yin stopped in front of her. Do you really think, with your mediocre background, you stand a chance? Do you think Jungkook would even glance at you? Nari. He already has everything he wants. A beautiful wife from a prestigious family, a luxurious life, and most importantly, genuine love. Nari's eyes glistened with tears. So here's what's going to happen, Yin said flatly, her tone threatening. Today, you'll submit your resignation letter. Pack your things and get out. I don't want to resign. I need this job. Oh, you don't want to resign? Yin gave a cruel smile. Fine, then I'll spread the word to every employee here that Nari is a homewrecker trying to seduce a married CEO. Nari turned pale. I'll also send letters to your parents every single day, telling them what their daughter is doing, trying to ruin someone's marriage for personal gain. You can't. Nari refused to believe Yin would go that far. Watch me. Yin leaned in until their faces were only inches apart. I have the power, money, and connections to make your life miserable. And trust me, I will use them all if you don't get out of my sight. Yin. But What? Do you think you're innocent? Do you think no one sees what you've been doing? Yin let out a cold laugh. Nari. I wasn't born yesterday. I know exactly what you're trying to do. Tears finally rolled down Nari's cheeks. And one more thing, Yin added. Don't ever think you can compete with me in any aspect. Beauty, brains, wealth, status. I'm superior in all of them. Jungkook married me for a reason. He'll never downgrade to someone like you. Please, Yin, I really need this job. You should have thought about that before messing with me. Yin returned to her seat gracefully. So, what's it going to be? Resign with dignity. Or should I make your life hell? Nari stood frozen for a few seconds, tears streaming down her face. I'll resign. Smart choice. Yin smiled in satisfaction. Submission deadline is 5 p.m. today. Effective immediately. Don't ever show your face in front of me or my husband again. Nari nodded weakly and walked out, her steps unsteady. That night in the penthouse, Yin and Jungkook were relaxing while watching the latest drama. The atmosphere was warm and cozy, a sharp contrast to the tension that had filled the office earlier that day. Honey, Yin called, feeding Jungkook a bite of kimchi. There's something I want to tell you. Jungkook turned off the TV and looked at his wife with full attention. What is it? Yin took a deep breath before recounting all of Nari's behavior and the confrontation that had happened that afternoon. So Nari resigned? Jungkook asked once Yin finished. Yes, she submitted her resignation letter this afternoon. Jungkook fell silent for a moment, processing everything he had just heard. Why didn't you tell me sooner that Nari went as far as to go against you like that? Yin smiled and caressed Jungkook's cheek. Because I didn't want you to worry about little things like that. I only mentioned her casually before. You're already busy enough with the company. Small matters like this, let me handle them. But baby, I don't want you dealing with that stress all by yourself. Honey, Yin interrupted gently. I'm your wife. My job is not just to support you, but also to protect our marriage from anything that could disturb our harmony. And trust me, I'm perfectly capable of handling women like her. Jungkook gazed at Yin with eyes full of love and admiration. You're amazing. You know that? I know. Yin grinned playfully. That's why you married me. Jungkook pulled her into his arms. I'm sorry, I wasn't aware of her behavior. I didn't think she'd be that bold with you. I was too focused on work to notice how big a problem it had become. It's okay, honey. What matters is that you trust me and let me handle things like this in my own way. Of course, I trust you. I'm so proud to have such a strong and intelligent wife like you. Yin kissed Jungkook softly. And I'm proud to have a loyal and supportive husband like you. You never gave her the slightest chance to cross any boundaries. She's just the one who didn't know her place. Exactly. Why would I want another woman when I already have everything I need in you? They held each other tightly, basking in the warmth of their love that only grew stronger.